Looking for that car info? You came to the right place. All right, now, first thing you want to do is take your oil cap off. And the reason why we take this oil cap off is because once you take that plug off your oil pan and your oil start to drain, this acts as like a vent and it helps it drain a lot smoother. So now, first thing you do, take your oil cap off. Now the step number 2 will be finding your oil pan. On this Nissan Altima right here, the oil pan is on the passenger side underneath the car. Now you will have to either go to your manual or Google to find out where your oil pan is at. But I'm gonna show you where this one is at on this car. And as I'm taking this plug off, I'm gonna go ahead and tell you the benefits to why you need to be changing your oil yourself. Now the price, you're only gonna save a couple of bucks, because you can go to somewhere like Jiffy Lube or somewhere that's cheap like that and get an oil change for around 30 bucks, 35 bucks or so. Now what I actually paid was $25, $29 for my material, and I'll show you that in a minute, which is some oil and a oil filter. But the benefit of doing it to yourself, because see, like when you go to Jiffy Lube, they putting that cheap dog oil up in your car, man. You know what I mean? See, like I went to Walmart, and for the $25, $29, I was able to get Pennzoil, top of the line, full synthetic oil, and I'll show you that in a minute. That's the benefit of changing it yourself. You know, these little cheap oil places, you know, they put cheap oil in your car, man. Okay, you know, so now I hope y'all can see this. I'm taking this plug out. It can get kind of messy now, so if you don't like getting your hands dirty, this might not be the job for you. You know, because I know a lot of people out there don't like to get their hands dirty. This is you gonna get some oil on your hand. Here we go. I'm finna pull the plug out. I'll loosen it up, and now I'm pulling it. And as you can see, the oil is starting to drain. You see the oil right here coming out the plug. It's going to my little bucket here. And as you can see, my hand right here is full of oil. So you definitely want to have you some rags and get ready for, you know, a little oily mess. And the more you do it, the better you would get. This was kind of sloppy. I don't normally do it like that, but I'm trying to record. This is my first time trying to record and do oil change down. So work with me. All right, now, once all your oil has drained out, it's time to put the plug back in. Please put the plug back in exactly how you took it out. You don't want to cross thread these threads, or you don't want to over tighten this either, because all you really need to do is tighten it up and give it like one turn. Because if you over tighten it, you're gonna need a jackhammer to get that bad boy off. So now I'm just gonna put this on hand tight back the way it was. Like I said, make sure you don't cross these threads. If you cross these threads, that's a good way to have an oil leak. So now I tighten it up with my hand here. As you can see, wipe off the excess oil that's drained around the plug. Then I come in with my 14 millimeter, and I'm just going to give it a couple of turns until I feel it get tight. Once I feel it get tight, I give it one last little bump, and that's it. You know, if you tighten it too tight, man, I'm telling you, you're gonna have a lot of trouble getting it back off. So now, once you have did that part, the engine now is empty of oil, and so now the next step will be to change your oil filter. Now you have to check your manual on your particular car to find out where your oil filter at. Right here on this Altima, the oil filter sits on the side of the engine, right up here. Let's see, can I show it to you? I don't know if you can see that. Yeah, you can see it, the blue right there. This is my oil filter. Now, if the oil filter was put on properly, you should be able to take it off with your hand. But now, if they over tighten it, then you may need like an oil filter remover or a pair of like vice grips or anything you can get around it to loosen it up. And always remember, lefty loosey, righty tighty. It still applies to this. So now I'm gonna see If I can show, if I can let me see something for a second. I'm gonna have to get something that's on too tight. So let me go get some tools and I'll be right back. Okay, I really didn't need no tools. I just went and got this rag to get some grip on it, and it looked like it's loose. So I'm gonna go up here and I'm gonna loosen this oil filter. And remember now, it's oil in the oil filter too. So when you take it off, it's gonna drain oil. That's why I got my pan lined up right here. As you can see, the oil has already started to leak because I'm taking the oil filter off. You can see it's leaking. It's actually leaking a little too much here, but okay. I'm taking the oil filter off. Boom. Once you get the oil filter off, you go ahead and give that a couple of minutes to drain the last little bit of oil out. And as I told you earlier, I got full synthetic oil. I only paid $25, $29 for this, for the oil and the oil filter. If you want to know what type of oil filter that your car has, you can either Google it, or you can go to like in Walmart, they have the little scale where you can put your year, make, and model in, and it will tell you what type of oil filter that goes to your car. So the next step would be to put the new oil filter on. But before you do that, a rule of thumb, you don't really got to, but it kind of helps seal your oil filter here. What I'm going to do is I want to put a little bit of oil around this little rubber part right here on this oil filter, because it helps it seal and it keeps it from leaking. You don't, like I say, it's not mandatory to do that, but it's just like preventative maintenance. So I'm going to do that. And just like I said, on this oil filter, you want to put a little bit of oil around this rubber piece here. So just get a little bit of oil on your finger and make sure you lubricate this little rubber, seal it right here. It just helps it bond better. Now once you have done that, that's all it takes. Once you have done that, you go ahead and put your oil filter back in. Now hand tighten it as much as you can with your hand. Don't put no tools on it, so you'll be able to get it off without having to use a jackhammer. So now I just twist it on with my hand tighten it as much as I can with my hand, and that should do it. Okay, now the only thing we need to do now is just put our oil in and then check for oil leaks, and we done. So I'm gonna put the oil in. Let me see. All right, now your next step will be check your oil stick and make sure you ain't got no leaks. But even if you ain't got no leaks right now, you still want to, within the next couple of days, like when you pull out of your car, still want to check the ground to make sure it ain't leave behind no little oil drips or whatnot. You know, just for the next couple of days to make sure you got everything sealed up right. So now I'm gonna check the oil stick first. I don't know how good y'all can see that, but it's telling me that it's full of oil, and you already know that oil is new. So that's good. I get on here and check for any type of leaks that I may have missed. You know, you want to check around where that oil filter at right here. Don't see anything leaking. Check right there for your drain plug. Don't see anything leaking. All right. And just like that, that's it. Pretty easy and straightforward. Like I said, you can save yourself a couple of dollars by doing it like this. But most of all, you will have a better grade of oil in your car, which will help your car to last longer. This is Ellis, your car info, and I'm out. Peace.